Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We do have show match action coming at you right now. It's going to be on GSL's Antigua. And I like this map quite a bit. It does force cross positions here. You must have a cross position spawn. There's none of that expanding towards your opponent, close air positions, because it is actually not that big of a four-player map, but it is going to be ToxLonely and SeedAurora. Going to be a best-of-3 show match here between these two gentlemen. Looks like SeedAurora is going to be our red Protoss down here in the bottom left-hand corner, top right. ToxLonely going to be pink, battling it out here, and he is sending out his Overlord in the wrong direction here, but he'll make it over there eventually, I assume. It looks like a Forge Fast Expand will be going down here for SeedAurora. Cool. Now, the question is, there's so many different ways to do these Forge Fast Expands these days. Is he going to go for Nexus first, or is he going to go for Forge first? Looks like he's going to go for Forge first, to be honest. I think is the best choice on this map. It's not, even in cross positions, it's not really that big of a map. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. But the Forge, oh, it's not even a Forge. Look at that. It's just a Gateway Expand. Interesting play. So a Gateway gone down. It is on the low ground. We'll see if he's going to take that fast expand here in just a bit. So it looks like he may be doing just a one gate expand, but instead of walling off the high ground, he's going to wall off the low ground type thing. We'll see if that's going to work for him. I imagine that it probably will. Spawning pool going down here for Tox. He does go pool first most of the time versus Toss. I think is a fairly smart move. But it looks like Aurora is going to cruise in here. Does see that going down. We do have the Overlord already in place to gain sight of this area for Tox. So we can assume now that he is going to be taking an expand here shortly. We shall see here in just a moment. Looks like SeedAurora going to be cruising out here, tossing down another pylon. No Forge quite yet. There he is. He's going to toss down a Forge, and so we should see an expand here in just a few moments from a bit. Oh, so Tiny Spider out on the live stream asking how many different ways are there to do a fast expand or Forge fast expand as Protoss. Well, actually, there are quite a few. You can go Pylon 15 Nexus. You can go Pylon 16 Nexus. You can go Pylon Forge 18 Nexus. You can go Pylon Forge 20 Nexus. And that's actually 18 Nexus tends to be about the most popular. But look at this. Aurora going to be getting aggressive here. He's got this Zealot cruising out there. Going to be getting his probe in the fight here as well. ToxLonely does have his hatch down, but my goodness, it's taking heck of a lot of damage. Look at that. Double Zealots now here, and Photon Cannon's going to be going down. I like it. Double Photon Cannons. This is absolutely not going to go down. And looks like he is going to hold this forward position here, so SeedAurora being as pesky as possible. And look at that. He's not even taking an expand yet, so he is just going for this, making it look like a Forge Fast Expand. And he is going to be doing a heck of a lot of damage thus far. Look at that. These Zerglings not going to be able to get much done, that is for sure. Tox going to have to back out here. Notice that he is going to go ahead and try and toss down a Spine Crawler. Is it going to be enough? I do not know. He does have his Queen out now. He's working on that Zergling speed. He's trying to be as cost effective with these Lings as possible. This Spine Crawler not in the most perfect position, that's for sure. But, you know, I mean, all in all, he's got to do something here to hold this off, because Aurora being super, super aggressive here with this push. Pylon going up on the high ground. We do have another Photon Cannon here. 3 Photon Cannons total. Canceled there for Tox and putting down another one immediately. But now he's going to have this Photon Cannon up and running, and that is going to be absolutely brutal for Tox moving forward here. My goodness. Roach Warren on the way for Tox. He's got to get something done, that's for sure, man. Look at this. This is a brutal position to be in. Queen now going to be injecting larvae. Looks to be in okay shape. Units tab going to show that he is behind slightly on drones, but he's still droning up here a little bit, so doing a lot of work to keep those drone numbers where he wants them. Oh, gonna take, oh, good snipe there for Tox, taking out that pesky probe. So no more buildings for just a little while. What do we have cruising out? It's just a zealot. Probably going to see another probe head out in just a moment. There goes the probe. Tox got this. Finally got his spine crawler up and running, but my goodness, he's starting to fall behind. And notice that SeedAurora does have his Nexus going down, and Tox saying lame sauce is lame. That's funny. Cybercore going down now for SeedAurora. Seems to be in fairly phenomenal shape. Look at this. Tox tossing down a hatchery in the back of his opponent's main. Pesky, pesky. Very interested to see if that is going to work. Not tons of defense here, that's for sure. Nope, I said it again. Sorry, Tiny Spider or Mega Bad Kid or whoever doesn't want me saying that. I can't help it. I am working on it, though. I do appreciate the feedback, and I will do my best to stop saying it. So, good stuff. Looks like the Roach Warren going to be producing... Oh, he did find it. Look at that. Scouted. SeedAurora going to be taking this sucker down as quickly as possible, but we do have a queen about to be on the way. Looks like he's going to clean this up here. Spine crawler. Looks like that's going to be in just the right position there. Roach is going to be out on the field. Where are the defenses? Wow, does take it down. Nice job there for SeedAurora. That's really going to save him a lot of trouble. Of course, he is going to have 3 roaches to deal with here. Tox does need to go ahead and make something out of that larva there. Does have an extra larva. But the roach is going to be fairly pesky. Not a bad deal. Roach is trying to kite here. Looks like they are going to get surrounded. Back into the corner here. One more roach on the way. But yeah, these roaches actually doing a fairly decent amount of damage. That zealot not quite able to get up in the face as he needs to. And SeedAurora losing a lot of mining time here. Now he is keeping these guys pinned down, but my goodness, the costs are really starting to mount there. Tox making a great play here for a potential comeback. He does have to be careful moving forward. He needs to get himself on a second base, though, immediately. But that roach did pick up 1 kill there. Not bad, as well as stalled a heck of a lot of mining time. Nicely done. Nothing from the forge quite yet, other than obviously the photon cannons, but it looks as though Tox going to be setting up spine crawlers up here on the high ground, and it is time to pick these guys away on the low ground. So good stuff. He should be expanding in just a moment or two. Units tab. We were already there. Look at that. 25 probes for Aurora. 20 drones for ToxLonely. And Tox going to have to start catching up here fairly fast. Nidus Network on the way for Tox. Looks like he is going to get even more pesky. I love it. Go Tox. Is going to be breaking out here. That's in just a moment, looks like. Roaches in fairly good position. He's just going to move these spine crawlers, I assume, right into the corner there, and that should be just in range to deal with the photon cannon. Looks like he cannot wait. Instead, is going to take it down immediately. Can't blame him. There he goes. He's going to go ahead and grab his expand. 2 base is exactly what he needs. But there is going to be a Nidus worm momentarily. Here come the roaches. A lot of roaches up here on the high ground now to deal with. SeedAurora going to lose this base potentially. Doesn't appear to have the defenses necessary to hold this off. And Tox now with a phenomenal position here on the high ground. He's going to put his opponent back on 1 base here. Now, even though SeedAurora does have 30 probes here, this is going to give Tox plenty of time to catch up here, I think. All in all, a phenomenal play here from Tox. He's making a great comeback. Could send a drone through there and build another hatchery. That'd be fun. Or do some creep spreading. That'd be good too. But these stalkers, not tons of them, they're going to be trying to hold the fort here. Looks like we've got a couple of photon cannons, but that's about it. It looks like SeedAurora going to be on his last leg here. Tox going to be pushing this. Oh, man. And SeedAurora saying, lol, I gave you this game hard. Well, that's okay. But Tox takes it down regardless as he was taking a 3rd expansion. So beautiful play there from Tox. Held that off in phenomenal style, I think. And SeedAurora did make some mistakes, that's for sure. But all in all, it was pretty good. So he says any match will be going into that game here in just a moment. So don't alt tab, always alt StarCraft. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 of this show match headed at you right now. It is ToxLonely and SeedAurora. GSL's Daybreak. ToxLonely doing a fairly decent job there in game number 1, man. I'll tell you what, I was pretty impressed with the way he held off that push. That's a strong push that SeedAurora has come up with there, and I like it. It makes it look like you're going for a Forge Fast expand, but you're able to really put some serious pressure on your opponent there. Quickly. And so I'm impressed with both of these players thus far. A lot of good stuff. Tox, man, I love how he responds by tossing up a proxy hatchery in his opponent's main. I love it. He comes out with some just crazy things. He's always been a wild card in many respects and is a player to watch out for. I mean, he has taken down a GM before. And that is not an easy task. And it wasn't like that guy gave the game away or made a mistake or something. I mean, Tox just played extremely well. And, he does a lot of work. Puts in a lot of hours playing this game, does a lot of research. Looks like SeedAurora going to be going for a Forge Fast expand here. Now, SeedAurora, another one of these wild cards, too. He comes up with a lot of builds. He's one of those players that not only can execute other people's builds very well, but he's one of those players that can come up with his own build order. Say, you know what if I tried this? He can think through the timings and things and see how things could potentially work. Goes ahead and tests them out. Tries to make that stuff happen, and it's a rare find to find players who are not only good at execution but have that metagaming mentality where they can think through new builds and invent. Just pretty cool stuff. So SeedAurora down here as our red Protoss working on his Forge Fast expand up here in the top right. ToxLonely does go hatch first. Spawning pool first rather. And it appears that he is going to grab a bunch of lings right away as well. Now, he did stall pro production, so this does look like some kind of rush here. Looks like he 8-pooled his opponent there. 8-pool, A-move. Got to love it, so Tox going to give that the old college try. We'll see if that's going to work out. In the meantime, SeedAurora going to be cruising back up here with his probe. Looks like he may set up shop over in his opponent's main. Yes, he is indeed. Let's go check in on Tox's push, though. No anything quite yet. Looks like he's putting a... Oh, wow. SeedAurora's smart there. Putting up a photon cannon in his mineral line. Tox going to cruise in here. Is going to see that right away. Knows that's not going to happen, so backing out is probably his best bet at this point. But he could take out this Forge with fairly decent timing. SeedAurora going to be tossing down a photon cannon here. Is going to keep his opponent from expanding, that's for sure. So he's going to try and keep his opponent on one base. The thinking here for SeedAurora is what he's thinking is if he's going to keep me on one base, I'm going to keep him on one base, and we'll see who prevails there. And chances are I will, because Protoss tends to be a little bit more beefy on one base than Zerg does. So I think all in all, smart thinking there. Now, he has taken some severe losses there. He's not going to be able to put down any more cannons, but he's already got 2 cannons up here in this forward position. But chased off. ToxLonely trying to poke in there with these lings. Not going to happen. Another pylon going down here for Aurora. Pylon. Looks as though SeedAurora going to be in fairly decent shape. Now, Tox may get tricky here and go ahead and take another expand. I think is probably going to be his best bet, but I do like that he's scouting very well. Wants to see what's going on. Going to keep his opponent stuck here, if at all possible. Yeah, he's going to be able to take this pylon out with decent micro here. So SeedAurora just lost another building here. Tox doing, he's doing a phenomenal job at this point. Yeah, exactly. Tiny Spider out on live stream makes a great point. So Tox should be able to take another expand fairly easy at this point. Yeah, Ling's doing a phenomenal job here. Another Forge going down. Looks as though he's going to need it. Tox did indeed take his 3rd instead of the 2nd. So there's his 2nd base going down. Just going to go ahead and skirt these photon cannons until he's got so big of an army that he can come in and just obliterate it. Type deal, so not bad. But the Ling's still doing a lot of work. Aurora been getting out a bunch of zealots here. This Forge is going to be complete. And a gateway going down here on the low ground. Looks like Aurora is going to be gearing up for an expand. Going to toss down some photon cannons ASAP. Units tab. Whoops, we were already there. Units tab going to show 26 probes for Aurora, 22 drones for Tox. Tox in fairly decent shape. Does need to be careful, though. He's got to keep his economy rolling. He's going to be grabbing a Roach Warren here. Could potentially go for the denial of that base. Doesn't want his opponent to expand here. He really wants to keep his economic lead, which he doesn't really have at this point. Aurora's got the economic lead, so Tox needs to do something about that. And I think trying to deny this natural is probably a good idea. However, it's going to be difficult. There are already double photon cannons here. Of course, there's only one pylon, and all he's got to do is go snipe that pylon. It could be a pretty decent show. A couple Zealots going to be cruising through here. Looks like they're going to back themselves up against the wall, going to make themselves just a little bit more effective. Tox says, fine, I won't engage then. I like it. Good decision making there from Tox and SeedAurora as well. And Aurora going to be cruising in here. Looks like these drones going to go ahead and transfer down. We don't care. There's Zealots here. So what? There's only 2 of them. And we've got enough lings, but they're not going to come out of their hole. So, yeah, whatever. Zealot's going to get in here and get surrounded very quickly. That means they're going to die. Nicely done. Looks like here comes the attack. Tox going to clear this out, it appears. He's going to go straight for that pylon, getting a good surround on it. Going to unpower that building fairly quickly. And now the photon cannons will die just as fast without doing any damage. I like it. Expansion here for Aurora, almost up and running. Units tab shows 31 probes for Aurora, 22 for Tox. It's time for Tox to start beefing up that economy. He's working on roaches right now, and I don't like it. Another, wow, look at that. Photon cannons like crazy going down. It's 4 of them down here for Aurora. Still only powered by the 1 pylon, so see how that's going to go. But Tox poking in here sees way too many photon cannons to deal with. So I assume he's going to transition here. Nice little wall off there from Aurora. He's got, I mean, this is like a, what do you call it, a tower defense wall off type thing. Going to have to walk through here, go around there. That means it's going to have more shooting time on this cannon, blah, blah, blah. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you play cannon or tower defenses, then you know what I'm talking about. But mazing is so very important. Roach is taking down 1 cannon, but I don't know if that's super effective, especially with the sentry up on the high ground. Wailing away on these guys. There we go. Stalker's going to be the right mix here. That's going to force these roaches back here, I think. But one of these warp gates going to go down. Looks like he's gearing up for a potential run-by, but not going to make it happen. There's still too many, I'd say, photon cannons for that to be effective. Gateway does go down here again, but look at that. It's got a nice little gap there. Looks like these guys can cruise through. And the third, going down for Tox in fairly decent time. I like it. Does have more gas here. Transitioning into, guess what? More Zerglings. Not a bad little play. I'm going to grab some more gas here. I would like to see him get some more tech out on the field, potentially, because SeedAurora is now turtled up pretty well on 2 base here. And he's in a fairly decent defensive position, but probably not going to want to cruise out too very soon, that's for sure. Going to be sending out some pylons here on the forward position. A couple more gateways going down, and by a couple I mean 4. Looks like he's going to be chrono boosting out armor level 1. He's already got +1 attack on these units. Another gateway there. I like this position though for Tox. So let's just check that units tab, see if he's been able to get that economy where he needs it to be. Not quite yet. 43 drones to 52 probes. Aurora really in great position with this many probes. Now, he may even start trying to go for a third. Tox cruising in here with his Overseer, trying to get an outlay of what's going on back here, but not much. It looks like solid gateway units. He did toss a Changeling down. The Changeling going to be doing a little bit of scouting. It looks like Aurora is going to be pushing in attack, so he's cruising out here with a fairly decent number of Stalkers and some sentries in tow. He's going to have a fairly decent amount of force fields at the ready. So Tox, I think, has caught wind of this, is going to be gearing up for his defense here at the third. Tossing down a Spine Crawler. He's got a good deal of roaches here. It's going to come down to force field placement, so SeedAurora, it's up to him to make or break this attack, but he seems to be in fairly decent shape, so wow, that's a lot of force fields, so this could be easier than I thought for Aurora. warping in a heck of a lot more units. Not taking them down quite yet, but did toss down a bunch of force fields. Tox being very, very careful right now. Trying not to lose that army, and Aurora strangely actually backing out here. I think that he's got the, a better army at this point, and really should be pushing that attack. But now with the spine crawlers complete, it's going to be that much more difficult moving forward. So we'll see if Tox is going to be able to mount his defenses here. He's got a whole bunch more roaches on the way. Zergling's trying to snipe that pylon. Smart move. Not quite going to happen, but here comes the attack yet again from Aurora. Good force fields that time. That's going to keep half those roaches out of the way. And Burrow being used here by Tox. I like it. Nice play. Is going to save his skin there. That's for sure. Beautiful stuff. Looks like the third going down here for SeedAurora is complete. Probably going to go ahead and get that saturated here in just a few moments. But all in all, he's got SeedAurora's in great position. He's working on armor level 2 right now. Does he have +2 out already? Nope, just +1. So he's getting his armor out. He's chrono boosting an empty forge there, but he does have a robotics bay on the way. Twilight Council complete, no charge or anything quite yet, but ToxLonely still pretty solid on 3 base. So 41 drones, that's the problem though. He's really got to drone up here, and SeedAurora going to be getting his third fully saturated here momentarily. 62 probes for that guy. He's really got a rocking economy. Tossing down a bunch of photon cannons. Tox working on his infestation pit. Got to love that. Where is he putting it? There it is right there. Lair. No hive quite yet though. I would like to see him gear up for his late game play, which I assume is going to have to be Broodlords at this point, considering SeedAurora's very heavy ground army. So Broodlords will be a fairly decent play, potentially, but we'll see. You know what? Also, though, we got to remember that Tox is very, very good with his infestors. Now, he does have a bunch of roaches out on the field. He needs to get more upgrades for these units. I mean, that's the one thing that SeedAurora is absolutely killing at right now is his upgrades. Look at that. +2/+2 is on the way. He's chrono boosting the heck out of it. Thermal Lance is going to be adding some Colossus to this army. Yeah, there they go. There they go. And Tox gearing up to be in a little bit of trouble if he does not either take some super expansions or really, really get to his drone count up to where it needs to be. He's got 60 drones right now. He's starting to catch up a little, but still the lead is going to SeedAurora, which is really, really good for Aurora. So this could even the score, which will take us to a game 3 potentially. I'd say at this point Aurora is up in this game, is slightly ahead. He's got great economy, great unit composition, but we are going to see a bunch of festers out on the field here for Tox momentarily. Looks like the third going down here is being scouted by, or fourth rather, going down for SeedAurora. Tox does scout it. Going to send over a couple units, it looks like, to try and deny it. Couple roachies, and look at that. Looks like Aurora going to be out of position for that, so he's going to lose that base potentially, but he does have this pylon over here. Looks like he's going to continue warping in units, and it probably won't matter too much. He did go ahead and cancel that, it appears. Does lose 2 pylons, no big deal, but here comes the main attack, and SeedAurora seems to be in phenomenal shape. +2/+2 complete on this army. This is a great timing attack. Double Colossus in there. He's got quite a few zealots. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. Tox really got to get his army over here to hold this down, I think. Either that or just sack the base. Maybe the best bet at this point. But here comes his infestors. See how the infestors are going to play this here. Roach is cruising down here. Good force fields going down. And sacking the base looks like that is what is going to have to happen, unfortunately, for Tox. Now, he is taking another base over here. So he's going to put himself back on 3 base here momentarily. But for the moment, he's going to be stuck on 2 base. Is going to have to rely on what defenses he has, basically, at this point to carry him through. Because he will not be able to remac that army super fast. And here comes the attack from SeedAurora yet again. Looks like he is going to cruise up here. Nice little split there for Tox. Great positioning. Investors trying to get in here, doing some good fungals there, but looks like they're not quite enough. Does hold on there fairly well, but lost a lot of units in that exchange. And SeedAurora in phenomenal shape. Looks like this expand going up again for Aurora. Is he going to defend it, though? These roaches need to go ahead and get over here and kill it. Only one of them attacking. These guys are there for moral support. I guess is okay. But Tox got to get this base up here running. Let's just check his the units tab. 53 drones right now to 73. And Tox in a little bit of a pickle, I'd say, going forward here. SeedAurora really doing the work right now. Tox not really paying attention here. I would like to see him pay more attention to those units. Roach is going to get obliterated here by these Blink Stalkers, and here comes the rest of the army anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But great control there by Aurora, and Aurora now going to cruise over to this position, and if he denies these bases, that is GG, absolutely, for Tox. SeedAurora is maxed out, floating a lot of minerals now. Just working on upgrades at this point, and getting geared up for his late game. Notice he's building a bunch of Stargates. I like it. If these bases going to go down, it doesn't look like Tox quite in position to deal with it there. A little bit of mismanagement from those units, and down they go. Yuck. Aurora really got a strong force here. +3/+3 completed on these guys. SeedAurora apparently playing with Tox now at this point. Tox is like, go for it. I doubt that's what's going to happen, but yeah, he is going to cruise out here. He's got a maxed out army. I think it's time to go ahead and take it down. Tox does have a good deal of roaches here. They have to do +2 attack, but it's not quite going to be enough against this +3/+3 army. And here comes Aurora. Good blink going on here. Looks like these units are going to be living through most of this roach attack here. Investors trying to get themselves in position. A couple fungals going down, not too bad all in all, but SeedAurora really laying waste to that army so very quickly. Looks like he can push up here just about any moment. Tox struggling now to try and grab a third. His main is mined out at this point. That is no fun. Doing some long distance mining. Wow, this is brutal position. As main is almost gone here. SeedAurora, in the meantime, going to be working on Void Rays. A whole bunch of them. Look how many he's got queued up. My goodness. Taking another base, this little mini expand here. Does have a rich Vespian geyser, though. GG from Tox. He does see that guy cruising up there, and that is it. Thank you guys for coming out. Game number 3 headed our way here in just a moment. See you guys then. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nax Showmatch here. Going to be concluding. This is game 3 of 3 between SeedAurora and ToxLonely. It's been a nice little back and forth battle between these guys thus far. We've seen some very interesting play, some phenomenal play, some great defense, some great offense. What can I say? And Tiny Spider actually out on the live stream asking me to do his history homework. Just start asking the questions in the chat, and people will answer them. I'll answer as many as I can. Okay. Whatever you got, we'll see if we can help you. Tox says, "I won't cheese you, K. You don't canon, K." K says SeedAurora, and Tox only giving the heart. Looks like a Forge Fast Expand potential here for SeedAurora. We'll see if he's going to do that or if he's going to do his tricky little build there. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. He's got that down, I think, pretty well. I'd like to see it. We'll watch a little bit more closely on him there. Let's see what he's got for us. Tox, going to be our pink Zerg player down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Top left, SeedAurora. He is red. He is Protoss. Scouting up here, does not see his opponent. Going to head down to this bottom position and is going to find him there. Tox happily mining away here. Looks like he... Ooh... Oh, that's a scout. Never mind. Gonna go for some scouting. Pool first for Tox. Not bad. Fairly decent time. He didn't do it super early or anything like that. But his drone going to be cruising out across the map. In the meantime, Aurora does figure out what's going on here. Sees what's going on. Looks like he's going to sit here and just block expands for just a moment. What do we have going down here? It is going to be a forge. This looks like to be a little bit more standard forge fast expand play to me for Aurora. Come on, tiny spider. You can do it, brother. Oh, that's an easy one. It's 0. Yeah, I got it right. Oh, order of operations. So 9 times 0. So it's 1 plus 2 plus all the way to 8. Oh, I gotcha. Oh, goodness. Order of operations. But the photon cannon does go down here for SeedAurora. And it appears that the hatchery gone down for Tox as well. Looks like this Nexus in fairly decent time. A good-looking photon cannon wall off here for SeedAurora should keep some Zerglings out of his base. Tox with his speed upgrade on the way is going to be sending out a couple lings. Looks like he's just going to maintain map control. May poke up here just to see what's going on. There is indeed a gateway finally for SeedAurora. He's going to be grabbing a couple gas here as well. Units tab going to show 17 drones to 20 probes. SeedAurora with a slight economic advantage there. About to be more. He's going to start chrono boosting off 2 Nexus now. Oh, the drone went down. Too bad. Looks like Tox about to have his hatchery complete, but he's really got to start droning up here. So, production tab shows no drones on the way. Spawning pool here, metabolic speed boost still looks like to be about 60% complete. Ling's cruising around here looking for any proxy locations. I like it. Cybercore gone down for SeedAurora is absolutely going to need that moving forward here. It's not necessarily late, but it is definitely delayed. Maybe purposefully, but definitely could present a problem, and you got to be careful. You got to get that tech out quickly against a Zerg with this Forge Fast Expand, because if they do rush you, they can do it fairly quickly. I mean, if he tosses down a Roach Warren right now, he could just go big Roach push, and it could potentially be a problem, because the unit production capability here for SeedAurora is not that great. He's only got 1 Zealot, 1 Photon Cannon forward defense, and Tox could max out an army here. Not max out, but he could build up an army here fairly quickly. Now, he is securing his 3rd, so lucky for SeedAurora, he doesn't really have to worry about it. But look at the map control from Tox right now. I mean, he's got pink dots all over this mini-map. Sees just about everything that's going on. He's got Zerglings camped looking for movement. Oh, man. Oh, here's a good math question for you guys. Is 0.999 repeating equal to 1? Answer that one. Is 0.99 repeating equal to 1? Answer that question. Cool, so Tox here does have a little bit of a drone transfer. Let's check his units tab. Notice he's caught up there fairly well, but look at this. We're going to have to deal with, guess what, Stargates. SeedAurora does get those fairly in fairly decent time. Probably going to be chrono boosting these guys out. He's going to be working on Void Rays of all things here. Looks like Tox in fairly decent shape, but he's got to catch wind of this. Either that or just be prepared for a big air push. In the meantime, he is working on a lair that is going to be helpful in getting himself prepared, but we'd like to see him do a little bit more scouting, maybe sack an Overlord or something, but cruising in there is not a bad idea at this point. He needs to go find out what tech his opponent is going at this point. So 8.5 minutes, 9 minutes in almost. Nope, it is equal. The answer to that question is that 0.99 repeating is actually equal to 1. And there are multiple multiple mathematical proofs that prove exactly that. They absolutely prove it. I mean, technically you would think no, right? Says Mega Good Kid, but actually it is indeed equal. Here you can look at it this way. I'll kind of explain it here while we have a moment. But what is 1/3 if you turn it into a decimal? It's 0.33 repeating, right? Well, 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 1. But what's 0.33 repeating plus 1 plus 0.3 repeating plus 0.3 repeating? That is 0.9 repeating. So does that equal 1? The answer is actually yes. So it's kind of interesting to think about, but what is even more interesting to think about is, are these Void Rays going to do the damage that they need to? And it appears that they may indeed. I just don't see the AA required here. We've got a Spine Crawler. That's not going to help. But here come your Voids, and 4 of them going to be super difficult to deal with. Notice that Tox is scouting this. He really needs to be aware of what's going on here. Notice he did toss down a couple spores here. He's got to be tossing these suckers down at all of his locations. These queens not going to last very long, though. 1 queen down. Just trying to buy himself time here. Spore Crawler going to die, though. Brutal. Look at this attack from Aurora. Tox going to have to sack this base. I think at this point is his best bet. Yeah. Going to have to sack this base and hope to get defenses up at another. Yeah, he's going to lose his lair, unfortunately, too. That is sad, sad, sad times. In the meantime, he is going to be pushing his opponent's base. Now, this is a smart move. It's very costly to get up that much air. So, Tox could potentially do a great counterattack with this many roaches, and indeed he is. Oh, look at this! Oh, I thought Aurora was going to back out for a second. No, he's not. He is going to go for a base trade scenario. In the meantime, Tox going to be sending out a bunch of units. Looks like he's going to be sending these guys in to take care of a lot of buildings as well as a lot of economy. That's a sick amount of roaches here. Does he have the Spore Crawlers necessary to hold this base? He's got a lot of them, that's for sure. And actually fairly well placed there. Taking down the Stargates here, not a bad deal. Unpowering them, it looks like he's going to go back to the economy. Now, a couple Void Rays will be able to clean this up eventually, but it is going to take some time. So we are definitely in a base trade situation. Look at this. He is going to take down these Spore Crawlers one at a time, and SeedAurora are going to be in fairly decent shape for this base trade, but wow, Tox killing the economy of his opponent here. He's really got to get a lot of Spore Crawlers up here at this position and get some more tech out on this field. He's got to also consider that he needs to be expanding a little bit more crazily. But down goes this expand. There's absolutely zero economy right now for Aurora. He did take another base, but my goodness, it looks like these pylons going to get obliterated here. SeedAurora does have a lot of minerals, though. That's one nice thing that we can say. He's got a whole bunch of minerals. Going to try and take out all of these probes. That probe goes down. Uh-oh. 2 probes up here. That looks like it. Oh, my goodness. And the Void Ray is starting to dwindle here. It looks like one of them does get sniped. Another one maybe going to go down. Nice micro there from Aurora, but he almost lost that one. He's got to be so careful. The nice thing is that these guys are charged up. Nice snipe there. Good queen. Getting a solid kill in. Only 2 right now, and wow, I mean, Aurora's in really brutal shape right now. I mean, Tox's not in great shape, don't get me wrong, he's only got 6 drones, but he is actually doing some mining here, and that is super effective at this point. But here comes some roaches. These guys are going to be able to clean this position out here, I think, and that is no fun. Absolutely no fun. The nice thing for Aurora is that he does have a good bit of Void Rays out on the field, but I mean, all these gateways completely unpowered. No mining going on. We've got roaches in here. They are going to take out this Nexus. He's going to have to rely solely at this point on his Void Ray's ability to kill stuff. And Tox not going to even get supply blocked here with these Void Rays picking off these guys, but his defenses here at this position are not bad. I'd like to see him put his Spore Crawlers a little bit tighter together because they can get sniped so very easily in this position. But this base here gonna go down. Aurora not gonna be able to produce probes right now, so that is brutal. He's got 0 probes. He's got 4 Void Rays out on the field, and just quite frankly, there's not much he can do. Needs to get out 1 more probe just to save the day. Doesn't get it. Oh no! SeedAurora now has got to go full on base trade here. He's gonna have to micro these guys extremely well. One Void Ray going down. Oh my goodness. Tox can be working on his opponent's buildings, because all he has to do is kill the buildings. He doesn't have to really defend here. And there it is, game. ToxLonely taking it down. Great stuff, man. That was actually a pretty fun game. Hope that Aurora's not upset, but the double Stargate, it was nicely pulled off. I think that Tox's defense, though, or his response rather, was awesome. Go straight for the base trade, mass those roaches quickly, made it happen. And like I said, I mean, Aurora just didn't have the defenses early enough in that game for a roach push, and so that's what happens. But all in all, phenomenal stuff. We'll be going into another show match here momentarily, so don't alt tab, always alt StarCraft. We'll see you guys then.